everybody, welcome to ReWrite. This is a new series I came up with where I take something most likely professional wrestling related, almost entirely guaranteed to be professional wrestling related, and I make it suck less. Because Adam Blampier ain't got shit on my fat ass. WrestleMania 32. That was a bit of a disappointment for a lot of people. It could have been a lot better though. The original plan going into Survivor Series last year was for Seth Rollins to face Triple H at WrestleMania. It seemed like there was tension going on between the two, even though they were on the same side. Certainly Survivor Series could have been a good place for them to sort of blow off that angle a little bit with one of them turning on the other. Of course, Seth Rollins got injured before Survivor Series, and it looked like he wasn't going to make WrestleMania, so they needed a new storyline to go with, and they decided instead of having Seth Rollins fight Triple H, how about Roman Reigns? And on paper, that makes sense. After all, Roman had altercations with Triple H in the past. They certainly did want to build up Roman Reigns, and it did kind of serve that purpose of putting Roman Reigns in the main event spot. Unfortunately, the fans were not as receptive as certainly WWE would have hoped, and I think they were actually warming up to Roman Reigns before this. I think what really screwed it over was the writing here, and that's where I come in. Alright, a couple of ground rules. There's going to be a few things that I am assuming that WWE isn't going to let me do. Number one, I'm going to assume that the Money in the Bank is still in play. In other words, it's still something they want me to use. This is partially because it makes it easier to write Survivor Series itself, but, you know, whatever. The second is I'm going to assume that they still want the Triple H Roman Reigns match at WrestleMania to be for the championship. The reason I'm assuming this is because they want it to be the biggest deal that it can be. You know, and it's easier to make it a big deal if you put the WWE Championship into that match. The third thing I'm going to assume is preventing me from taking the easy route, and this is the one that is most likely true of WWE if they were to let me rebook it. I'm going to assume that they will not let me turn Roman Reigns heel, because let's be honest, that's really the easy way to accomplish this. So let's start with the build-up of Survivor Series. I don't really have anything against the build-up as it was, but I do want to point out something specific about it. See, Triple H offering Roman Reigns a free pass to the finals of the tournament, that was actually a really good thing, because it showed Triple H's corruption and his need to control, because, you know, it really seems like Triple H wouldn't be doing that if he didn't want something in return. And it shows Roman Reigns as a good guy, as a guy who wants to work for everything that he's got. And he's like, because he says, no, I want to prove myself. I want to prove I deserve it. And yeah, kudos to WWE on that one. I will say this though. It would have made perfect sense if Triple H offered him the championship itself. Especially considering Triple H got the big gold belt from Eric Bischoff in 2002 through similar means, by being outright given the belt by an authority figure. So, I'm going to play out Survivor Series mostly the same too. What small change, just a very tiny thing. Don't have Roman Reigns spear Triple H. Have him refuse the handshake. That's fine. That's fine. But the motivation at this point is a bit too weak for Roman Reigns to be outright attacking Triple H, because Triple H is actually trying to help him, and Roman's just like, I appreciate it, but I'll do it on my own. At this point, Triple H should feel a little bit slighted, and Roman should be a little bit untrusted of Triple H because of past transgressions. It shouldn't be full-blown at this point. You still have Sheamus cash in on Roman, though. Sheamus is still going to come in, cash in on Roman. You can do the whole 515 thing if you want, whatever. That's fine. But yeah, just don't have Triple H eat the spear right now. So at TLC, the league costs Roman the championship, and Roman goes berserker. People popped for this. People will pop for it more when the motivations are a little bit more in place. And you know what? There's only one small thing, and this is actually a small thing. There's only one small thing I would really change. Before Roman attacks Triple H, have Triple H try to physically separate Sheamus and Roman. Because there wasn't really a lot of physicality from Triple H leading up to that, so it seemed a little bit silly that Roman attacked Triple H as vehemently as he did. I think if he'd have just attacked him and then stopped, that would have been one thing. But no, you need for Triple H to try to separate Roman from Sheamus. That way, Roman thinks that Triple H is on Sheamus's side. That way, it's more justified when Roman goes after Triple H. So, the build-up to the Royal Rumble. Another place where I'm not going to change much, but trust me, there's going to be some more drastic changes coming down the line. Now, the one or two things I would change. Number one, I would just go ahead and reveal that he's number one when you reveal that he's defending in the Royal Rumble. Because it doesn't make sense for there to be a defending champion in something like a Royal Rumble if he weren't either number 1 or number 30. And if the intent here is to screw over Roman Reigns, it doesn't make sense to put him at number 30. That's giving him the biggest advantage. No, it makes more sense to go ahead and announce that he's at number 1. That way, it's clear that you are trying to screw over Roman Reigns. Another thing that I would change, and this could be something that admittedly there could be an explanation already in place for, but I think it could have been better explained. He's still entering through the crowd as champion. That doesn't really make him look like a good champion. Have him enter from the back at least a few times, then have it where, well, now the entire locker room is against him because they all have a shot at the title at the same time. So it may be better to perhaps have him try to come through the locker room, come through the normal entryway for a little bit, and then maybe at the Royal Rumble, have it make it, because at the Royal Rumble it made sense for him to come through the crowd, because it was like he was against everybody, so he didn't want to be in the same part of the building as everybody else. He wanted to be on his own. That made sense. But to have him still do that as his normal entrance, that doesn't really work. So, now we're at the Royal Rumble. My biggest problem with this one now is that it's very similar to the 1999 Royal Rumble. Like, almost to a T. There's a few differences. Austin leaves the match earlier and comes back in the match later. That's one difference. The number 2 entrant wins instead of the number 30 entrant. That's another. And another important one, Austin goes out on a stretcher. Roman actually is able to walk under his own power to the back. That being said, I think we can do this a little bit better. For one, Roman can be taking breaks in the ring during the match. Still have him play through the whole match. You're not going to have him win anyway, so he doesn't have to do the whole Iron Man thing. Now, that being said, Triple H could be the one to leave the match. Hear me out here. Triple H comes in at number 2 instead of number 30. This puts a lot of the force behind them trying to screw Roman out of the title right out of the gate. And it gets better because Triple H has a plan, right? So Triple H comes in at number 2. We have Rusev coming in at number 3 instead of number 2. I'll get to the other number 3 later. So Rusev comes in. He starts going after Roman. Isn't really going after Triple H. Triple H leaves. He leaves the match through the middle of the road. See, the thing is, they didn't make Triple H enough of a heel for people to boo Triple H over Roman Reigns. So you really need to press that. You need to have Triple H sort of take the coward's way out here. Because the way they did it, they made Roman look like the coward. So now I want to touch on the ending of the Royal Rumble. So first thing about the ending of the Royal Rumble is that other number 3 that I said we'd get to. AJ Styles, I would put at number 30. Why? Because he's going to get the biggest pop. He got the biggest pop in the actual Royal Rumble. They had to know he was going to get a big pop. Especially since this event was in Orlando, which was the home of TNA during the main years when Styles was the face of TNA. So a lot of these guys kind of grew up with Styles. So it's no surprise that they're going to really blow the roof off of the place for Styles, right? So have Styles come out as number 30, biggest pop. I feel like Styles is very underutilized, and if you're not going to build his WrestleMania feud in this match, then why not build the main event with him? So we get to the Final Four, and it's Roman, AJ, and let me come up with two guys that make sense. Dean Ambrose, Bray Wyatt. They were in the original Final Four. Sure, why not? But remember, Triple H is still part of this match. So Triple H just comes back down the rampway as the four are fighting. Right? He gets back in the ring, and he catches AJ off guard and eliminates him. Right there. That is you making Triple H the biggest heel in the goddamn building. You know that they are going to boo whoever eliminates AJ Styles. And you want people to boo this Royal Rumble winner. Because you're having a heel win the Rumble. You're having a huge heel. The guy that you want to be the big heel, to put over the big baby face. You want people to boo this moment. You want people to be throwing trash into the ring. You want there to be damn near a riot. Okay? Not actually a riot, but damn near one. Because at the Royal Rumble as it stood, people were cheering for Triple H winning. Because it didn't want Roman to win. And no, that's not the reaction you should be getting for your heel in the big storyline. So Triple H wins as a shit-eating heel. So in the lead up to Fastlane, I'd have Triple H go, I wanted to control the championship. And if that meant for me to put the championship around my waist again, then that's exactly what I was gonna do. I know, shitty Triple H impersonation. Anyway, so Triple H wasn't going to be able to control Roman Reigns, but he wants to control the championship because he wants to control the company's image. That makes it to where Triple H is being a jerk, yes, but not at the expense of the business because he wants to control the company's image. Again, he wants the company to look good. So it's something that makes sense from a business perspective. So it doesn't make him look like a bad businessman, it just makes him look like a jerk. And if they were concerned about Triple H looking like a bad businessman, then this does that very well. This does making him look like a good businessman, and that making him a heel very well. So he still puts Roman in the triple threat at Fastlane. He still has Dean Ambrose, he still has Brock Lesnar. He figures Roman and Dean fighting each other will be forced to fight each other, so they won't be able to take out Brock Lesnar. Of course, then we get to Fastlane, and here's the big twist. So, at Fastlane, the match goes mostly the same. It kind of works like a handicap match, except when Brock's kind of taken out, Roman and Dean start going after each other. It's all well and good. Everything's going as you would expect this type of triple threat match to go. And then Triple H comes out when Roman appears to be in control. Now, the very next night, in real life, in the actual storyline, the very next night, Triple H comes out after one of Roman's matches and beats the shit out of him and forces him to go have nasal reconstructive surgery, which he was about to do in real life anyway. So if you're going to do that, you can do that here. Because it makes Triple H look less like he's trying to, get one over on someone who's already challenging him. It looks more like he's trying to prevent someone he doesn't think deserves it from getting to the title in the first place. And that is more of a heel move than what he did the next night. There's more of a heel move than if Roman Reigns were already the number one contender. That just seems like normal Triple H stuff. Hell, people were popping for that. Are you kidding? People were cheering for it. So no, it's not a good move there. It's a better move here. I think people will be more likely to boo if it's done here because you're costing him a match. You're costing him the opportunity. So Brock and Dean are in the ring. So you're thinking I'm just gonna have Brock win or something? No. I'm gonna have Dean Ambrose in his fucking hometown win the number one contendership. Swerved. So here's the thing. During that build-up, we can still have Triple H have his speech about holding the title hostage until WrestleMania. But we don't outright say that Fastlane is for number one contendership at WrestleMania. It's always described as the winner is the #1 contender. It is a #1 contenders match. We don't actually say WrestleMania when talking about this being a #1 contenders match. So when Dean Ambrose comes out for a contract signing with Triple H, we reveal that Dean Ambrose is getting his shot at Roadblock. Kind of a dick move, taking away a WrestleMania moment from Dean Ambrose. And you can still build Roman versus Triple H for WrestleMania. You know, that's a revenge match. You can build Brock versus Dean at WrestleMania. That can also be a revenge match. Those two matches can still be built, except now it's uncertain which one is going to be the title match. See, part of the problem with Dean's Roadblock match was that there was really no tension to it, you know? Triple H was going to face Roman. It was already in the advertising, and Roman was already the #1 contender. So there was no reason to think that Triple H wasn't going to win. And if Dean Ambrose wins, that just completely throws a loop that they really don't have time to resolve in the title picture. So it just makes things messy. So the match at Roadblock is going to play out pretty much the same. It's going to be a very close contest. We're going to honestly think that Dean Ambrose could actually walk out the champion, and we could still get Roman versus Triple H headlining, but we'll have Dean Ambrose versus Brock Lesnar for the title, and we'll have a better title match. That'll be great, but Triple H does end up winning, unfortunately. We do want to sort of kind of get people's hopes up a little bit, because that makes Triple H looks more like a bad guy when he wins clean, because he does win clean. And then another thing that we could change, but we don't have to change, is Roman could come out this night at Roadblock in order to do the massive attack on Triple H where he hits him with a flat screen TV. Are you freaking kidding me? Like, people were cheering for that. People were legitimately cheering for that, and I think it could go a long way to build Roman as sort of this vengeful character, and Triple H can start running a little bit at this point in the WrestleMania build-up, but I don't think he should be quite as scared as he was in the actual build-up. I think he should be a little bit more confident than he was. I think it should more be like he shouldn't be running from Roman Reigns. He should be not in the building because he actually does have to work. And then he shows up and Roman Reigns wants blood. And who can blame him at this point? Because Triple H has screwed him over time and time again. And Triple H gets out of his car to confront him, not to try to run away like a little bitch. So the WrestleMania match itself, I'm still going to have Roman Reigns win because that's what WWE would probably still want me to do. But there is something that I would change sort of about the direction of the match. That match was slow as molasses. That needs to be fixed. Okay, Triple H can still want a slow match because that seems to be what Triple H would want. He would want to slow things down. He would want to be methodical. Roman, however, should be using very intense and fast offense. He is actually pretty good at doing that. He's good at bringing that fast intensity. He should go full berserker mode on this one. And another thing that kind of confused me, why was it not a no disqualification match? It really should have been no DQ. And I think that would have worked a lot better. Stephanie could very well have gotten a little bit involved. She did in the actual match, and you know, that spot kind of worked, but I think it would have been a little bit better if they made it no DQ. They let both of them use some weapons a little bit here and there. Maybe Triple H tries to pull out the sledgehammer, and then Roman Reigns comes around the corner with Superman punch. That would be a cool spot. I would enjoy seeing that. And yeah, Roman Reigns wins in the end, and hopefully the fans are a little bit more receptive with a better written storyline. Anyway, so do you guys think I'm completely off base here for even trying to salvage this one, or do you think I might be on the mark? Let me know what you think in the comments, and let me know if you'd like to see me do any sort of other rewrites in the comments. And leave a like because it lets me know that you guys enjoy what you're watching and you guys want to see more stuff like this. This is very experimental for my channel. I haven't really done anything like this before, so I really am interested in knowing what you guys think of what I'm doing here. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching, and this has been your friendly neighborhood Boonslayer, signing out. I said I wasn't going to do that stupid fucking outro anymore, and here I am, doing the stupid fucking outro. Great. Good. Awesome.